Back. I'm glad you're still with us here on Morning at 10 TV. Time now for the Kickstarter discussion, and we're going to be looking at the impact of the Parish Development Model initiative across the country in light of the President's tours that have been going on. We do know that he started the tour of Kampala, where he's doing on-spot checks to understand how those who are beneficiaries of the Parish Development Model money are actually doing the income generating activities that are aimed at improving household income. He started the final phase, as it's being described, by Presidential Zonal Tours under the PDM model initiative, and this particular PDM initiative was launched, as you might remember, in 2022, seeking to transition 39% of Uganda's households from subsistence economy into a money economy by providing resources and trainings at parish level. But there are those within the political circles who say the PDM tours across the country are effectively campaign sessions ahead of the 2026 presidential election. Whether that is the issue or not, it's debatable, and perspective will be much sought, especially from one of our guests here. Today, he's in Kampala, as he started yesterday. Later, we'll be speaking to Hamson Obua, who is on the top of the organizing committee for this particular initiative. Our very own Stephen Mbide is putting that together, and when that feed comes through, we shall no doubt be joined by him. Allow me to introduce the Deputy Lord Mayor, Doreen Nyanjura. Many thanks for joining us this morning. Pleasure.
I'm always happy to be here, and good morning to all the viewers of NTV.
Great. Henry Kitambula, Deputy RCC, Rubaga Division. Many thanks for joining us too.
Thank you, the viewers out there. Good morning. Thank you for working for your country.
Okay. We also have Barbara Nakandi, an aspiring Member of Parliament for the youth in Western Uganda. Many thanks for coming on to Morning at 10 TV.
Good morning, our dear viewers. It's an honor to be in this place this morning.
We are humbled as Nation Media Group. Now, RCC, what is a presidential PDM tour? And what is happening in Kampala, especially in light of what's rolled out yesterday and is continuing today?
So as you all know, the President has been touring the country at a zonal level, and this has been, as you said, the PDM tour. You know, the President has always struggled to ensure that Ugandans, especially those that are not in the money economy, enter the money economy. And the government thought it very wise that PDM, the Parish Development Model, could assist in delivering all of the 39% households who were still not in the money economy into the money economy. And then number two, the parish model would handle other issues, like changing the minds of Ugandans, that is mindset change. Then the infrastructure development, and so on and so forth. So the presidential tour, PDM tour, simply means that the president is moving to find out how PDM is performing, because there are very many reports from the start. People are complaining about extortion. People are complaining about the bribes within the selections and the inclusion on the list of the beneficiaries. And that's why you heard when he was, I think, in either Teso, Sub-Region and Wicked, he emphasized that those ones who swindle PDM funds should not be granted bail, should not be granted bond by police. So it came from the reports he was getting. And when the president is moving around, he does around 3 or 4 things. One, he goes to, first of all, see one or two beneficiaries to find out the progress. How did you get this money? Did you get it? Did you get all the 1 million? How did you start? Where are you now? Are you progressing? So those selected beneficiaries, where the president goes, can give us enough sample to see whether we are progressing or not. And to me, I think we are moving in the right direction. We are progressing. So he does that. Then number two, the president meets the leaders of that sub-region. So the leaders always come up with a memorandum. That memorandum is read by one of the leaders, and the intention is the president to find out the challenges, the issues within the sub-region, so that he can get remedies to those issues. Then number three, he also interacts with the journalists, because the media is very instrumental. You are the fourth estate, so he interacts with them. Free interaction. They ask questions, he answers them, and in one way or the other, they have really brought out some important things. When you look at the issue of the service commission, like for example in Impigi, it was the journalists who brought that up. So that's why he interacts with the journalists. Then number four, he holds a rally. Now that rally is meant to further sensitize the wananchi on wealth creation. So that's why you have seen him having the rally, and that's how he has been moving. Now the climax is Kampala and Wakiso. He wanted to handle Wakiso and Kampala as one sub-region, but we said no, Your Excellency, Wakiso is big, Kampala is big, so you should separate them. So he accepted and gave Wakiso 1 week. He's also giving Kampala 5 full days. He started with my area, that is Rubaga, where he had 3 places. One was the commissioning of Sega Market. Then number 2 was the tour and interaction of the beneficiary in Chivumbiro A, called the Fausta Naroiso. Then from there, we had identified a garage in Wakaliga, that is Chivumbi zone, Natete Parish, and it was intentional. It was deliberate that we chose that garage, because we looked at all the garages, and that garage specifically had younger people who had mobilized themselves and rented an area to operate from. So they were not workers of a person, they were workers of themselves. So that's why we chose them. Okay. And the intention, because we asked the president, why should we really have a garage? He said, in my wealth creation campaign, there are very many sectors of the economy. There are very many people doing different works. So I need to know what can we really do for them. So he didn't come to support that garage only, but he wanted to develop a model that could assist the garages in Kampala and the other cities to have their own package that can make them perform better. For example, when we were interacting with them, they said their machines and tools that they hire, and they hire them expensively. And they want to be able to buy their own. So the president says, if you can have specific machines and tools for a parish, then they can get them. If I need a compressor, I know the next garage has a compressor, I can say, you assist me with the compressor. Instead of hiring it at 50,000, I can simply pay maybe 1,000 for maintenance. Then if the other garage has a computer, because These days, many of the vehicles are digitalized. When you look at it, the one I'm driving, if you don't have a computer and it has an issue, you may not really repair it.
Okay.
You see, so that is what the president is doing. And we are glad that it's in Kampala. I think Rubaga started very well. We had no issues. And he came at a time when Rubaga alone in the PDM, government had injected 3.9 billions, serving 3,900 households. Then the other side of Myoga, still 3.9 billions. So you can see that the government has injected a lot of money in these areas.
Okay.
My friend, the Lord Mayor,
I can see the Deputy Lord Mayor basically itching to respond.
She wasn't there,
and
even when we invited them.
Yeah.
But what is very important for Ugandans to understand is that the president wanted to move across the country to establish whether we are progressing in the PDM, whether there are some issues as raised by the leaders in their memorandum or memoranda, because there are many, and then go back to the kitchen and plan for the best menu that can really
interesting there.
Solve some of those issues that are raised.
Thank you very much, RCC Henry Kitambula. We needed that bird's eye view of the PDM tours, at least as seen from the point of the president and indeed the government. I don't want to say the National Resistance Movement. But as you were speaking, the Deputy Lord Mayor was basically itching to respond. I don't know whether it was in disbelief of some of the aspects that you are saying, but in light of the tour now being within Kampala, I don't know whether the government and the leadership at City Hall are in harmony on how things are going to move, where the president will be, and basically how to update him, because at the end of the day, KCCA is under the state. You've chosen to come to Morning at NTV. We are humbled that you chose to leave the president and come here.
Well, thank you so much. I kept listening to the RSCC as he was calmly submitting. Well, I don't really blame him. It is well that is his submission. Yes, we know that the head of state is in the capital city. He started with Rubaga yesterday, as the Deputy RSCC has ably articulated. And well, there wasn't any excitement, I think, from my part. Neither was there any excitement from the people of Kampala, because they know the inconvenience they suffer when the president decides to visit the capital city. And of course, I couldn't be one of those to escort the president as he inconveniences the people of Kampala. What does his visit mean? Statistics indicate that we lose over 2.8 trillion every day, annually, sorry, due to traffic jam. And on a daily basis, we lose 2.5 hours because of traffic jam. That excludes the hours when the president is moving and the roads have to be blocked and the inconvenience that come with that. So his visit to Kampala was an inconvenience, causing a lot of traffic jam, people losing productive hours that they would be using to do their businesses, roads being blocked, you know, even those on foot can't move, even motorcycles can't move, vehicles can't move. Maybe the RSCC for him, he could move because he was part of the team to be with the president. For me, in my view, honestly speaking, we do not need the president to come and do the monitoring at the inconvenience of the people of Kampala and at the inconvenience of Ugandans. This is the work that the RSCCs can ably do. This is the work that the ministers can do. this is the work that political leaders can do. And in some instances, we've actually been doing this work, where we have been doing monitoring of the other projects, UAPE and all that, and it saves the taxpayers money, because they want us to look at how much money is spent as the president does these tours. I don't know if the RCC has the figure, but you know, a lot of money is spent because the president has gone to visit someone who has a goat. I don't know if a goat, and a goat, not even a cow. Someone who has a goat. I saw he was also visiting someone who has chicken. And you know, for me, I don't know how the head of state feels, because personally, I feel embarrassed. One, you look at the road network that is taking him to these places. You look at the poverty. You can basically see the poverty on the faces of these people. And then you say you're talking about development, you're talking about transitioning people from subsistence economy to money economy, which does not, honestly speaking, make sense to me. Because you're talking about 1 million. I don't know if you're told that the beneficiaries are getting 1 million.
I know.
If we are to do an assessment, and I hope my colleagues here can really look at 1 million. Let's look at 1 million in Kampala. What would 1 million do for you? First of all, for you to register a company, do the paperwork, do what, most likely that 1 million will go there. If you're going to start a business, you'll definitely need a trading license. I know they say it's related to agriculture, and that even makes it more complicated for those within Kampala. But they say, okay, you have to get something that is related to agriculture. So for me, honestly speaking, I don't know of any economy that has developed as a result of handouts being given out. And even if you look at the rallies that the president has been having and the people that he's been meeting, what has been the demands of these people? Oh, President, wanotetuina kubo, twagala kubo. Oh, President, nze njagala ka capital. And then he says, okay, I've given you 1 million, I'm adding 6 million. I don't think that is the way our economy is going to evolve. After all, we've seen initiatives that have come before the Parish Development Model, and they have not been any different. They have all been the same.
All right, thank you very much, Deputy RCC. I'll be coming to Barbara Nakandi. My apologies. There is, I'm trying to put together the fact that we need to go to Stephen Mbide, who is also going to be speaking to a gentleman who is on top of these matters. But my sincere apologies for that. Just to make it clear, 1 million is directed towards households. It might not do much, as you say, for Chris Higenyi or even the Deputy Lord Mayor or the RCC, but for the urban poor, 1 million can start.
You know, when you are
can start something.
When you are dealing with rich people,
come on, stop insulting you.
No. All right, let's not go there.
Even
Stephen
poor people
Mbide,
need to be respected.
but for us,
Stephen
we are
Mbide, a very good morning. It's heated here in the studio already, but I'm sure you can understand exactly why.
That is what we are challenging.
A very good morning to you.
Good morning to you. I can imagine. Of course, on this conversation of PDM, people want money. And of course, the Minister of Finance promised that money will come. Money will come, but for those who haven't received the PDM cash since 2022, when it was launched, we will find out why. But first of all, let me engage the government chief whip, who is the MP for Ajuli County in Butong District, but also he's in the race for the NRM Vice Chairperson for Northern Uganda. Icho Mabe, Honorable.
Icho Mabe, Rapoye Matek. Good evening, good morning, fellow countrymen and women watching NTV from within and without Uganda.
And of course, when you talk about without outside Uganda, those could be also in the evening time, but that's okay. Honorable, you've been yesterday, so you at Musega with the president. You've been traversing Kampala, the different parts of Uganda over PDM. But up to now, since 2022, some people haven't received the cash. What's happening?
First and foremost, in the last 1 to 2 years, His Excellency the President has been traversing Uganda sub-region by sub-region, preaching the message of wealth creation and household income. And as I speak, we are now in the tail end of the PDM tour of the whole country, where His Excellency the President is now touring Kampala. What is certain is that in the last 2 to 3 financial years, the National Resistance Movement government has injected approximately 3.3 trillion shillings into the PDM. And the good news is the PDM will be running over and over after each and every year, implying for those who have received as beneficiaries, that is a plus. But for those who have not yet received, there is hope that year in, year out, we shall continue implementing the PDM, implying many Ugandans in their respective parishes will be able to benefit in subsequent years, because even this financial year that has just kick-started, we have injected money into PDM, implying a new breed of beneficiaries all over parishes in Uganda will be benefiting from PDM. So for those who have received, the clarion call is get a good selection of the enterprises where you are going to be involved in. For those who have not yet received, the doors and the windows are still open for you to be a beneficiary this year, next year, the following year, because PDM will continue.
Okay. I know today the president, of course, with the delegation, will be in March, India. Yesterday they were in Rubaga division. But I've seen some voices, especially those from the opposition. They are saying that, you know what, the president is using this empowerment program for politics, for campaigning. And they say he's just trying to come with the early politicking instead of empowering the people.
First and foremost, the opposition in Uganda should know that the National Resistance Movement under the leadership of President Museveni is the first political party in power since Uganda attained independence to have introduced wealth creation initiatives. Now, we are talking about trillions of shillings injected into the PDM. And who is the vision bearer of the National Resistance Movement? The vision bearer of the National Resistance Movement is His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, who has the mandate of the people of Uganda to lead them for 5 years. All that he's doing is not campaigning. He has even made it very, very clear that this is not time for politicking. The interest, the aspirations of His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni as President of Uganda is to ensure that the 39% of Ugandans who are still outside the money economy should join the money economy, such that we can be talking about wealth creation at household levels. That is why PDM is targeting that poor Ugandan who has not yet got an opportunity to get 1 million shillings. So His Excellency the President is not on a campaign trail. His Excellency the President is on a monitoring tour of the 3+
You know why they are saying that? They are saying that is the reason as to why they are saying that is because they've heard the president saying that, you know what, your leaders, you voted, especially for the people of Kampala. Yesterday I heard even him saying that, you know what, you vote leaders who are not pro-government, and he's saying that next time, 2026, vote for NRM candidates.
In the opinion of the president, most likely in areas represented by the opposition, they have not taken advantage of mobilizing their people to benefit from the wealth creation initiatives of the NRM. In fact, to the contrary, it is the opposition trying to play politics because they do not want an empowered community. Because if I am a leader, my major preoccupation would be to identify the challenges that my people are going through. And one of them is poverty. The NRM government has introduced wealth creation initiatives. PDM, Emyoga, the youth livelihood for the youth, the women fund. There is a special grant for persons with disabilities, a special grant for the elderly. Why wouldn't we as leaders mobilize our community to be beneficiaries of these wealth creation initiatives? You find that in most constituencies represented by the opposition, they would not even want to talk about these initiatives because at the end of the day, for them, they think it will be galvanizing support and entrenching the support of the NRM. Fine. The National Resistance Movement believes in service above self, believes in service delivery. That is why, apart from bringing about sustainable peace and security within Uganda, apart from the question of bringing about development, the National Resistance Movement has now introduced wealth creation initiatives where all leaders, irrespective of their political belongings, irrespective of their religious belongings, should be able to galvanize and mobilize the people to benefit from these initiatives. To me, this is where I think the president is coming from.
All right. Okay, granted, but I know these empowerment programs, like for example, you have forgotten to mention the agricultural credit facility and the loans from UDB. But all these programs, up to now, 40 years in power, people are still wallowing in poverty. From Chisolo to Kotido, everywhere you move, you've seen the president, even on the trail, has been finding people deep in poverty. Is this a dent on the leadership of the president, but also your government, 40 years in power?
First and foremost, at the time Uganda attained independence, our population was about 6.2 million Ugandans. 40 years or plus down the road, when Uganda is now an independent nation, our population has skyrocketed to over 45 million Ugandans. And yet, the size of the country called Uganda has not expanded. So we must also take that into consideration. Now, the NRM, having realized that we have part of our population that are still outside the money economy, deliberately, under the guidance of His Excellency the President, decided to introduce the wealth creation programs, which is meant to target especially these Ugandans. The PDM is for the poorest of the poor. Now you hear about GROW. GROW is about women who at least are at some stage, but many of them think that GROW is also like PDM. No. At each and every stage, you have talked about the agricultural facilities. Those are all there. In each and every district, city, and municipality, there is even micro irrigation for people to take advantage of. But you find that when people are not mobilized, they may not get to know. So you are right that the NRM has been in power for 40 years, but you can see that in the 40 years, the NRM under President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has been able to join the lower middle income countries of the world. Now, by galvanizing support around PDM and other wealth creation initiatives, we now want to go into the middle, the real middle, not lower middle. Okay. So the people of Uganda, irrespective of their political belongings, should take advantage of these wealth creation initiatives that has moved His Excellency the President to tour the country for 1 to 2 years, preaching the message of nothing but wealth creation at household levels.
All right. I know you have to go to Machinde with the president and, of course, other leaders. Going back to studio, but we see that the Lord Mayor and other local political leaders are not with you. On Saturday, you were with the executive director of KCCA and other technical teams. But isn't this surprising for you? A political leader of the city isn't with you and other political leaders like councillors?
It is not a surprise because in many of our areas where we went to, reasonable members of the opposition were able to join. But for those who, I think, in my humble opinion, do not have a feeling of the poverty that their people are in. Because if we are all working for Ugandans, whether in opposition or in NRM, there are certain areas where we must be able to converge and say, here we all agree that a certain percentage of our people are in poverty. As a nation, we need to get them out of poverty because today, NRM is in power. What if after 50 years or 40 years or 100 years, another party takes over power? You will still be preoccupied with the issue of poverty. And when you have an impoverished population, I think it is very difficult to lead. That is why President Museveni and the NRM has come out deliberately with these programs of fighting poverty. So being poor in Uganda will be a choice. But at least to join the money economy is an imperative obligation on any Ugandan who can benefit from one of these many wealth creation initiatives.
After my take, Honorable.
Appointed.
Okay. This is Honorable Dennis Hamson Obua, the government chief whip, but also a member of parliament for Ajuri County in Butong District. We shall be watching them today as the president also traverses much in the division, and of course the entire district will be in Kampala, save for tomorrow and Thursday because of the NIM primaries that will be happening on Thursday. We shall be letting you know what transpires as they move ahead with this PDM monitoring program. Stephen Mbidon, Professor Chibuga, handing you back to studios of NTV for more conversations here on Morning at NTV.
There, who of course details what the president will be undertaking today and indeed the days to come. But he also points out some key aspects, especially when it comes to rollout of government services. He expresses dismay at the fact that the opposition and those who are seen as critics often do simply criticize and don't want to support initiatives that are aimed at ensuring that all Ugandans can move out of the desperate circumstances and conditions that they live in into what is described as the money economy. Allow me return to studio and of course gain some perspectives and feedback on Mr. Hamson Obua's remarks from the Deputy Lord Mayor as well as the RCC. But in light of fairness, before we went to Dennis Hamson Obua, we were to engage Barbara Nakandi, the aspirant youth MP for Western Region. I would love to pick from what Hamson Obua said, is that PDM is for the poorest of the poor. I know we had a conversation earlier that was primed at 1 million and what it can do for a gentleman like Henry Kitambula. Of course it can, but this particular program looks at the bottom of the pyramid. Within Western Uganda, I know as an aspirant, you must be looking to represent the views, the aspirations of the youth there. They've been targeted beneficiaries of PDM. Are they getting the money? Who are they that are getting the money? What are is there any politics? What is on the ground?
I'll begin by saying that for the many districts that I've been moving to so far, the ones that I've moved to, I've engaged with very many youth because one of my agenda is community involvement of the youth. I've engaged with the youth to know if they've benefited from the PDM. And my research, I found out that the biggest percentage of the youth has benefited from the PDM. And one of the impact that the PDM has done, it has increased the community involvement of households and the youth at large. And this community involvement, it has empowered the youth and the communities, whereby it is easy for them when anything is concerned with PDM, they have that interest of wanting to know what is going on, what information is coming, how are they going to benefit, where is their part, what are they going to do, how are they benefiting from the PDM. The Deputy Lord Mayor had spoke that the 1 million is not enough, but I would like to inform you that for the youth that have moved to, this 1 million, it is a lot. This is capital. We may look at it as something that is small, but this is something that is big, that has helped a lot of people. And like you had said that the president is visiting a specific farm, visiting one person with only a cow or a goat. No.
Not a cow. I'm not saying him visiting one with a cow.
You said a goat.
A goat.
Yes. But the president, the initiatives that he has been visiting, of course, when you're starting a project, you don't start with 100. You start with 1, and in the process, they keep on multiplying. So the president, the different farms that he's visiting, this is monitoring. He wants to see if what he's aspiring, or what he's visualizing is being implemented and put up. And this has actually in for example, I'm from Chenjojo district, and at least I can say in Chenjojo district there is poverty reduction, because very many youth, at least they have something that they can do for themselves from this PDM.
I hope you're aware I come from Chenjojo.
Yes, I'm aware that you come from Chenjojo, and the youth,
one of them,
the statistics of the beneficiaries in Chenjojo shows that 12,000, around 12,082 something beneficiaries of the youth and women as well that have benefited from PDM. And we can say that the PDM has helped a lot. When it comes to poverty reduction, yes, I'm not saying poverty it's not there. There are few that are still struggling, but I am very much persuaded with time they will be. Yes, they will be there. They will be at the top, and they will be better. And then the other thing that the PDM has improved, you know, the PDM is specifically targeting parish level. So in the process of targeting parish level in our country, Uganda, we had an issue whereby the people are only converged to themselves, whereby they don't want to know what's happening in the other places. So the PDM has brought people together. It has enhanced the social capital among people in the different parishes, whereby people are able to come out and reason and identify a common solution for a specific challenge that is happening in the parish and in the region, and this has helped to developing the community.
Wow, thank you very much. That is quite interesting perspective there. The fact that the two of you come from Chenjojo is going to be stuff of epic contestation. But in light of, I don't want to go into a back and forth on what is happening where and there, but if there is significant impact or a direction towards progress on one front, many times it's not a bad idea to acknowledge. But with regards to the remarks made by Hamson Obua, he was very disturbed by the fact that I don't want to classify it as opposition, but at the end of it all, somehow you have a leg into the opposition, that support for government programs shouldn't be politically inclined, to the extent that instead of rolling out as government wishes a program to be rolled out, it gets mired into the politics of the day. And we see this playing out at City Hall. Wouldn't you, for example, say, since we are looking at improving the lives of the urban poor, especially within Kampala, the ones who can have real transformation when given $1 million Uganda shillings, if they use it well, it is incumbent upon us as leaders to not only be seen to support the initiative, but to actually go and be with the president. And then, as you are interfacing with the people and the president at the same time, the issues can be tackled head on.
Well, I don't know. I think these days I stop getting shocked or surprised when I hear submissions made by politicians inclined to the NRM, because I don't know whether they be listening to themselves when they are talking. First of all, I already posed a question. For me, I'm not aware of any country which has devolved because they have been given handouts. Now, I don't think me going and being part of those inconveniencing the people of Kampala would have changed the fact that that only 1% of Ugandans earn above 1 million, and that 50% of Ugandans are the ones which earn 150 or 150 or less. I don't think that would have changed. So the viewers of NTV, for us as leaders in Kampala, we have been talking about creating, for example, more working spaces for the urban poor. Like the RCC might tell you, we have 86 markets in Uganda, but only a few
within Kampala.
Only a few are for KCCA. And we have been emphasizing, can we create more working spaces for the growing number of the urban poor? And actually the head of state also said, yes, the political leaders of KCCA were talking about one model market per division. For him, he came and said, okay, we now need 2 to 2 markets for the urban poor in Kampala. For me, I think that is the way maybe we shall try to develop the economy and try to talk about development, create employment. For example, if you move around on the streets, or even if the way we are here, if you ask, between being given 1 million, look at the statistics. We know many of the business startups in Uganda do not go beyond 1 year. It's actually more than 60%. So if you ask a young person, or if you ask any person out there, do you want industries to be created so that maybe in a month you're earning some money, or do you want to be given 1 million? What do you think would be the response of these Ugandans? Of course, these handouts, people will embrace them because they have their challenges.
Immediately.
She says she has been moving around in Chenjodo, and she talks about the youths. We also have statistics. If you go and look at the statistics of Kampala, how much money has been given out, yes, the numbers are alarming, but when you go on the ground, the situation is different. Someone will tell you, yes, me, I got my 1 million. My daughter was sick. I got 1 million. I needed to take my children to school. And of course, the president is not helping the situation, because, like the RCC was saying, he's visiting 1 or 2 beneficiaries. And I think that one is easy. If I know the head of state is coming, I'll get someone, assemble him, and yes, I'll tell him, yes, this is what I used with the money. I used the 1 million to buy a goat. Now, Mr. President, what I do not have a machine. And then the president will say, okay, I've now directed you'll be given a machine.
Outside of the PDM arrangement.
Outside of the PDM arrangement. So honestly speaking, it would be an insult for me to equally move with the president as he's mocking Ugandans after 40 years that, yes, I'm now giving you 1 million. I don't think that is how lives are transformed. And if you're to move, actually, when you go to other areas, the situation is even worse. The road network is so poor. You have nowhere to move. You can't move. People do not have electricity. Like where I come from in Mwenga Central, we have an entire sub-county. There's not even a single pole of electricity. When you get to Charles sub-county, you're stuck. So I think for me, we need to first deal with things that will help for the economy to be transformed, rather than donating handouts. Yes, because if I'm going to start a business, I do not have electricity. People have grown their crops. The road network is poor. They cannot transport them. Then you cannot say that you're going to transform the country. Like the statistics that the Honorable has been giving us, middle, lower income status. Honestly speaking, do we need statistics, or you just have to move out there and look at the faces of Ugandans? I don't know if you followed the report that was given by Bank of Uganda. How many Ugandans can even afford a meal a day? How many Ugandans can afford 2 meals a day? You just look at the face of Ugandans and you see poverty. So these statistics that they are giving, yes, they are there, but they are not accurate. They are not a true representation
of what is on the ground.
Let
me ask this question, and I know you will submit on her remarks and also on the remarks of Hamson Oboa. But in an initiative that is targeting millions, why would a beneficiary who is, or why would the choice be on 2 beneficiaries across an entire parish? This we would, for example, be seeing like 23 people in a parish talking about how the PDM funds have enabled them to, for example, be able to take care of or begin up a business or 2. But one parish, one person, 2, it's quite embarrassing that way. Clarify on that.
Maybe
why select only 2? Show us 23. What's the problem?
What you don't know is that when the president visits that one farmer, beneficiary, 10 beneficiaries from that, especially the village, they'll always be at the venue, like it was at Chivumbiro. So they're always there to confirm that they received the money. Secondly, when the
so they select one guy for the television cameras and
one
for reporters.
For the tour, but the other one's always in the place. When the president addresses, they are there. Then number 2, by the time the president comes, we have made a report for all of the beneficiaries. There is a tracking system that we are using. By the way, even if you are given money and you shift, we can track and know where you are and whether you are using the money or not. So there is a tracking system that we are using. Then number 2, the issue of these politicians, at times I fail to understand what they want. She's telling you that she's opposed to handouts. Fine. And she's looking at the workspaces. And the president came to Busega to launch a very big workspace for the people. Well, she did not. You had your time. You had your time.
Okay.
You respond.
I will respond.
You will respond.
Because I think Busega was constructed so many years ago. And it wasn't opened because of a few issues.
I've been in Kampala for twice now. I was a deputy RCC, Machindi, for around 3 years. Then I'm back to Rubaga, still Kampala. When we are handling the carpenters of Nsambia, why he brought the president and the president promised to get them a workspace, which he got them in Ichugu. When I explained to the president said, I think we should have a model for Kampala. He invited all the leaders in State House, including the opposition leaders. And the opposition boycotted. In fact, it was Kampala Central that was represented by a deputy mayor who was, I think, a musician, Sam Ogombia. Right? Now, when we were there, the president said, now, Kampala, we should have 2 artisan parks. We should have a food market. Then we should identify circles and then give them some capital, even if it's 20 millions. And he said the leaders should implement this. Now the leader who was there was Jennifer Musisi on the technical part. These other ones were not there. Now at times you ask yourself, what do they really want? Are they working for the people or not? I've been in Kampala for some time. In fact, you also you're a lead in Kampala. It's even an insult to say that for the poorest person, getting 1 million capital is peanut. We have people who approach us, RCC, even if I get 300,000, I can begin something.
But you see,
and once you give that,
okay, please,
you see somebody.
That is well understood. I'm afraid we don't have a lot of time. I'm going to give you 1 minute to wrap it up.
For me, I would really,
RCC.
I would be shocked if I see one of these people attending the meetings. We were in Chira last year. We were launching the master plan for Kampala in terms of the infrastructure, the roads. Because they were expecting the president to come, they convened the council. They convened the council, so they never went there.
Okay. Gentlemen and ladies, I don't have time. I'm going to ask that you use strictly 1 minute, and being a broadcaster, I'll be on the tick.
Okay, you know, I keep hearing this, quickly, that you know there are some Ugandans who ask for 300,000. Yes, there are those who will even ask for 5,000. And I think as leaders, it has also gotten to the heads of these people that to make Ugandans aspire for less. So I'm saying, instead of giving someone 1 million, can we start businesses for these people? I've heard him talk about Busega. I visited Busega 3 years ago with Honorable Raphael Majez and the rest. And it was ready, but there was money to work on the access road which was needed and all that. Okay. And it was not done. So if you want to know how institutions are not working, this is how you'll hear that you need to go to State House. I don't have to go to State House for have to be done in
let's
Kampala.
give the youthful aspirant the opportunity to wrap this up. You have a minute to send us off.
Okay,
please.
You come to Nakawa for the leaders.
I don't have to.
Barbara Nakandi.
Because you have always been working.
Deputy Mayor and RCC, allow.
The 1 million that the president is giving, it is a big part. But of course, as the president is giving it to us, it doesn't mean that he will even tell you that, because the 1 million that the president is giving it to you as capital. So if he's giving you as capital, you are the first change that you need. So you don't expect the president to give you the money, and at the same time, in my language, they say that.
The president giving 1 million.
No, the government, of course, because these are initiatives that are for the president. Yes.
Quickly, allow her. We need to give her an opportunity.
So you need to be the change that you want in your country. So as you're getting that 1 million, how are you using it? Are you using it to take your child to school, or are you using it to add value to yourself?
Very important point. Barbara Nakandi, many thanks. Doreen Nyanjura, Deputy Lord Mayor, many thanks. RCC, Deputy RCC. Henry Kitambula, thank you for the perspective. I'm afraid I'm going to have to say goodbye for the Kickstarter, but do stay with us. We shall be returning with another conversation that is really pertinent, and that one is on the cultural aspects and how we celebrate our leaders, especially those that are enduring. Toro Annual Youth Conference and the preparations for the Kingdom's 30th coronation anniversary. Stay with us. We'll be right back.